Hey, what's up guys, Rep here. So today we're going to take some time and talk about Nijisanji Selen Tatsuki because a lot of people are worried about her. And why are they worried? Well, she has been MIA from social media for over a full month at this point. Not a single stream, not a single tweet, nothing. And given the circumstances that led up to this recent hiatus, a lot of people are concerned and are asking a very simple question. Where is Selen? You can see this hashtag. It's been getting a lot of attention and some criticism as well on Twitter, but they're asking a very simple question. It's directed at Nijisanji management right now. They are saying, where is she? And is there any updates regarding her status? Now, before we look into all that, let's remind ourselves how we got here. Selen has been someone who is a very respected member of Nijisanji and a very active one. And over the course of time, she has had run-ins with her management where her management at Nijisanji has impeded some of her projects and community-related events. About a year ago, she had an art competition where she wanted to give the 5 artists who won this outfit competition a cash prize of $1,000 each. This was something that she had to negotiate with and fight tooth and nail with her management to get the permission to do. Not to use Nijisanji's money, to use her own money out of her own pocket to reward these artists for making these outfit designs for a VTuber model. Then, a few months later, there was another situation where she was no longer allowed to host international tournaments. This was something that she was very well known for. It was a big bridge between the Japanese side of Nijisanji and their fan base and the English side. And she would host these international tournaments and lead them and put a lot of work into them. And then suddenly, back in August of last year, for reasons, she was told by management that she specifically could not host these tournaments any longer, which was very disappointing to her and her fans. Now, probably the biggest situation out of all of this, you guys are probably aware of. This happened on Christmas Day of all times. It was a situation where Selen had made a cover song and an accompanying music video that was a very, very long project that they put a lot of work in, including a lot of money. And this was supposed to be a Christmas gift to her community, and it released on Christmas Day. And afterwards, she even had a celebration stream talking about the music video and celebrating that it was live. Well, only a few hours after that, she made this tweet apologizing and saying that management has privated the song. And curiously, she said immediately, please feel free to re-upload the video. Now, me and many others at that time already made the conclusion that this video is likely never coming back. The fact that she said you should feel free to re-upload tells a lot of people that she knew this was probably not coming back, or at least not for a long time. And the management was making statements about this music video saying they didn't have all the permission necessary, which is odd because why would it go live in the first place? But anyways, that was their explanation. They made it sound like it would be coming back soon. Well, here we are only about a day away from February, and the song is still private. Somehow Nijisanji and their management have not figured out how to get the permissions necessary to make this song public. It's very strange. And on top of all that, only 2 days after the initial Christmas situation, Selen made this tweet saying that she went to the hospital, and then a few days later reported that she had been discharged from the hospital. And that has been it. That's it. That is her last communication publicly from any of her associated accounts. And a lot of people are asking, where is she? Because this has been over a month. And I don't like to speculate in situations like this, but I think it's very understandable to be curious and to make the reasonable assumption that there's likely 2 explanations for what's going on here. Number one, she's not ready to come back. Maybe she needs more time for her mental health or physical health, and she needs to take a longer break. That's totally fine, and I think all of her fans would understand that. But that's something that should be communicated by management. They should share this information and update people and say, hey, she's not going to be back for a bit because she needs it for whatever reasons. That's at least something. That's on management to do that. And then there's another explanation, and that is, of course, that Nijisanji is preventing her from communicating on any of these accounts, which even in that scenario, that is something that should also be communicated to fans who are wondering where she has gone. Now, as time has continued to pass without an explanation as to where she is, we've seen this hashtag, where is Selen, get more and more popular, and this post has probably got the most likes out of any of them using this hashtag, and I think this right here asks some very simple and fair questions, so let's give it a read. It says, so it has been almost a month since we've last heard from or about Selen. I want to make what I'm about to write clear. This is not directed to rush her back from any condition or demand any answers from her or any of the other EN livers specifically. During this past month, not a single current Niji EN member has even mentioned her once since the Cup of Coffee MV issue or the tweet stating that she was in and discharged from the hospital, giving the perception as if they're not allowed to. Pomu's graduation was announced and taken place over this time as well. Selen was not able to say goodbye to Pomu on stream in any form or fashion, with the only mention of Selen coming from Pomu herself once or twice during this time as well. The circumstances of why this is happening is leaving the Dragoon fan base in fear of the worst possible situations and causing disarray as to what's happening to her. I'm not asking for an invasive explanation as to what happened to her or needing to know why she specifically has not been updating us. What I and a lot of other Dragoons want is an update from Nijisanji directly on her situation, like they have with their livers for so many times in the past, where the livers themselves are incapable. I know there are many that are just as worried as I am and are awaiting a response from Nijisanji or her on this whole situation themselves. So that's why I and other Dragoons are asking for here. I think it's a very simple request. Just basically give the most basic, generic response to where she's been. You don't have to get invasive with the details. You don't have to give any sort of a real insight to as to where she's been. Just let people know that either A, she's taking a break or she'll be back by a certain time. That's all people want to know. They just want to know she's out there somewhere and there's a plan for her to return or not. But you have to let people know about this instead of leaving them in a cloud of confusion. Now, some people have been criticizing the use of this hashtag, and they're saying a lot of things like in this thread. To sum it up very simply, they're saying that fans aren't owed anything in terms of an explanation or details for the status of any talent. Now, I think that's somewhat correct. I guess fans really aren't entitled to anything, but it's the right thing to do. It's very clearly the right thing to do in this situation when your management, when one of your top talents has been gone for over a month, and given the circumstances, a lot of fans are concerned about this talent. They have a very reasonable expectation to hear something from the management. That's all people want, and I think that is a very fair thing. It's not entitled. And also, a lot of these people are not just fans, they're also customers. They pay for memberships to her channel. They are owed some sort of an explanation as to where she has gone. Now, I've seen other people try to compare this situation to Gura and saying, like, imagine if there was a "Where is Gura" hashtag, one of these times where she took a hiatus, which I think that's a pretty unfair comparison. The hiatuses that Gura has taken are very different than what's going on with Selen. I mean, number one, the circumstances leading up to it. There is nothing like this situation that has ever happened to Gura before any of her hiatuses, or at least we don't know any of those circumstances. We know that management privated a song that was very important to Selen. We also know she went to the hospital and was discharged only a few days after that, and then took this hiatus. That's very different than anything that Gura has gone through with her hiatuses. And also when Gura takes a hiatus, she's only doing it from streaming. She's still making other content for Hollow Live, participating in events, collabs, things like that, and tweeting, and doing things that says, like, I'm here. I'm not completely gone. And that's the difference between Selen and Gura's hiatuses. It's different circumstances. And in this case, we also have someone like Selen who has missed out on collabs, and she's known as someone being very reliable. So it's very strange that she has missed these things. And I think it's very natural for fans of her to ask what is going on. And I don't think this comparison to Gura really is a fair one. But anyways, that's going to do it for this video. This is an ongoing situation. With February 1st closely approaching, I think we might hear something. I don't know, maybe that's just being optimistic, but with a new month, maybe management will come out and say something, but it seems like it's getting louder and louder. This question of where is Selen? You go to any of the recent Nijisanji tweets, that hashtag is filled in the replies. And yeah, for good reason. I think people have the right to start asking these questions of management who's been silent about this whole situation. But that's going to do it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Please share all of your thoughts about today's topics in the comment section down below, and I'll see you guys next time.